Bull's 2026 F1 car is forcing its drivers to reset your expectations every lap and does not give them any confidence to attack any corner as a result. Those were the opinions of Max Verstappen and Isaac Hadjar as Red Bull were wired into the midfield again at the Japanese Grand Prix. Verstappen was eliminated in Q2, knocked out by a late improvement from Racing Bull's rookie Arvid Lindblad, and while Hadjar made Q3 for the third time in 3 races, he messed up his final attempt and will start 8th. One complaint consistent between the two drivers was the car's inconsistent behaviour from one lap to the next. Verstappen spoke of Friday going from one extreme to another in reference to understeering and oversteering, as a result just bleeding lap time. I was stuck, I couldn't push more because of the experience. Hadjar said his behaviour had changed massively compared to F3, so much so that on his first lap in Q1 he thought he was going to crash because he was sliding everywhere. Verstappen said the way the car responded had changed again in a different way between final practice and qualifying, and that although the changes that Red Bull made were not as big, it became worse again. There are a few parts in the car that are not working, but they are working, and that's limiting how much as you can change the setup like you can do in the past. It just doesn't respond. Basically, he added when asked Red Bull's ability to kind of transform their car, as we've seen a lot in previous weekends over the course of a season. Responding to a similar line of questioning, Hadjar said it's a big stretch to compare these cars. Last year's car was fast, it was hard to drive but fast. Our car this year is hard to drive and slow. We need more efficiency. Setting aside Verstappen's comments about his future, which centre around the satisfaction he gets from driving his car, he said the chassis was the bigger factor in terms of difficulty. Drivability stuff can always be improved. I think everyone would say the same thing, shifting and everything. I don't think our biggest problem, actually, because from the car side we're really struggling at the moment, also to keep consistent. There are problems that we are narrowing the car, and like I said, we're trying to fix, but it makes everything off because in every session it can become a difficult problem. Hadjar was asked if the extremities made it hard to improve. We got no load, and that's it. It just goes in one direction very quickly. Just like I said, in FP3 it's opposite pattern. We go in quality, it's the other way around. Asked if Red Bull could understand the issues, he said no, not right now. What we're seeing this weekend makes no sense, and whether there was an acceptance from both drivers, that was Red Bull's performance right now. You can see that Melbourne was better, and then somehow things happen with the car and not even having touched the car, so that's a big problem, Verstappen said. So these all lead to big concerns for Red Bull, and it does lead to the feeling that it may be kind of a bigger issue with the car that's not as obvious to solve as maybe the team would have hoped. Obviously there's going to be big upgrades arriving for Miami, and they'll hope to go in the right direction, but it does feel like losing the likes of Adrian Newey, of course, is really impacting the team. And I think those concerns are only going to grow as Red Bull struggle to kind of get out of the mess that they're in at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting because obviously the Ford car, the Ford engine that they've got at the moment doesn't seem to be the main limiting factor, which many probably would have expected at the beginning of the rule set. So yeah, that kind of leads Red Bull into an even bigger hole, and it'll be very interesting to see if they can go out from it. But with other teams also upgrading, seemingly having a better understanding of the regulations, Max Verstappen getting more angry, it is hard to see right now if there's a way out of this for Red Bull. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.